His professional record stands at 35 victories, 7 defeats, 5 draws, and 24 wins, coming by way of knockout from Nogales, Arizona. Here is Jesus Ruiz. And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing white, trimmed in tan, he weighed in 121.5 pounds. In 23 professional bouts, he stands perfect with 23 victories, no defeats, 14 wins, coming by way of knockout. The fighting pride of Coachella, California. Here is the former IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World, El Matador, Caballero.
All right, it's time to go to the Tecate, tail of the tape.
All right, gentlemen, I've been over the rules with you both. You're professionals. I expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves. Good luck.
All right, those were the instructions. Now it's time to go to the Tecate tail of the tape, presented by Tecate. The reach advantage is in favor of Randy Caballero, but look at the fact that he's been out twice as long as his opponent due to an injury to his foot, a cyst on his foot that required a long recovery period, but now he's back, and you can hear the crowd into their hometown boy, the champion, the guy who did things the right way and then lost the title on the scale. It's all about redemption, Teddy.
And Ruiz is a tough guy. You know, he's a guy that, first of all, he's got 25 more fights than Caballero, and he's only 1 year older. Actually, less than a year older. So, a very experienced Ruiz, a tough guy. You know, not just his soft touch. Obviously, Caballero, the former champion, he lost his title to the scales back in 2015. But he's the favorite. He's supposed to win this fight. But again, a rugged Ruiz and a guy who gets in there with his head a little bit. Caballero's got to be careful about that. Ruiz has had a technical draw from a head clash, so he's been known to be a little bit of a billy goat. And one thing I picked up watching tape on him, and I want to see what Bernard thinks about that. Caballero, the undefeated fighter here, 26 years old, he's got a funny habit of shaking his gloves, shaking his hands. De La Cruz, the world champion, who just won his title back against Frampton, he had that funny habit where he just shakes those hands once in a while before he gets off.
And if Ruiz catch him doing that, shaking to get fillings in his hand or to get some kind of rhythm, whatever, maybe it's a nervous twitch, you know, whatever it is, he leave himself open. If Ruiz know that he's doing it and catch him doing that, then he won't be able to react as quick to protect himself.
Leo Santa Cruz kind of got that under control, but it took him a long time. Now, B-Hop, you fought in Philadelphia before in your hometown. How different is it, and how much adrenaline is pumping through Caballero, and how does he control it?
Well, it's a lot of energy going through him right now, a lot of emotions, and he wants to look not good, he wants to look perfect, and that can come back and bite him, because you must.
Oh, there's a headbutt, Teddy.
There's a headbutt. It might be a cut.
No cut
take
so
long
far
for that to transpire, did it?
Nope. Did you have the over or the under on that one, Teddy?
It was bound to happen, though. It was bound to happen.
I had the under just like I had the under with who's going to speak more, Bernard or me.
Exactly.
I know who's going to speak less.
And so far, I think you're winning, but I'm going to catch up.
That's right. You're, as the great late Muhammad Ali might say, Bernardo, you're a brave man to sit in between these two talkers.
I know, I might have to play referee, but don't scare me too much, because if you guys start agreeing on things, I'm going to get really scared as the night progresses.
No, well, the one thing we both agree on, Bernard being the great champion that he's been, is that Ruiz is a live opponent. Tough, rugged guy.
All right, 5 seconds, and this first round of Randy Caballero return come to an end.
We talked about the head clash the last round, and actually, to be accurate, it was an elbow clash. Wow, look at that elbow. Now, everyone's going to say, wow, the elbow up there, but I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say that Caballero's people got to tell him in the corner, yeah, you got to look out for that. Don't lean forward. He was leaning forward, but not agree with that. If he wasn't leaning forward, he wouldn't have ran into that elbow. But the other thing is, When the elbow went up, the body was wide open. That's where Caballero has to really concentrate and realize and remember, say, hey, yeah, his elbow hit me, but it means that it was up. There was a wide open space in that body. I'm going to find that wide open space.
Let him go. Stop.
And Caballero just throwing one jab, Bernard. He's just throwing one jab. He's not throwing two. He's not throwing three. And he's throwing at the same range as up top. He's not throwing at the chest. He's not throwing at the stomach. He's just throwing it one at a time. He just threw one at a time just now. You need to throw rapid punches. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's not doing that.
Well, Bernardo touched on it in the opening, did a great job. He talked about the inactivity of Caballero. You know, off 1 year and 1 month since his last fight, off a year and 4 months before that. So a little rust there. You understand that, Bernard. A little rust. It's going to take a couple rounds for Caballero to get into gear. And you know what? Ruiz is taking advantage of that fact.
Yes, he's going to the body. He's putting Caballero to the test here early in round 2. And now Caballero responds with the right. And before you mention what you were going to say, Caballero's a fighter who can fight from the outside, B-Hop, but he likes to bring it inside. And now he's fighting Ruiz's fight.
Well, he definitely got fight in him, but he don't want to get too far back in rounds where he got to bank on winning by knockout or being desperate enough to leave himself open. So that's why he needs to go ahead and stay at a range where he can make the effective with his reach. He has good reach, he has good lengthy arms. He should use it. Caballero.
It's all about geography, baby. I always say that, and it really is. Who gets the geography that best suits them? And right now, Ruiz, right there on the inside, getting the geography that makes sense for him and less sense for Caballero.
Caballero responding with an uppercut, but it's 1 for 3 punches. So Ruiz is a very high punch output fighter. He scored 70. He threw 77 punches around against Leo Santa Cruz in a failed world title bid. So he's capable of having good cardio and good conditioning throughout the fight.
But Ruiz is making Caballero fight harder than he wants to. He's picking the pace. He's coming forward. He's throwing more than 1 punch. And let me tell you, Caballero has to fight him off. So he's fighting Ruiz's fight other than fighting Caballero's fight.
But no, you know what? Caballero made a mistake. He should have went to a real estate agent before this fight and spoke about location, location, location. He belongs on the outside.
Location is key.
Yes, key. Yes, sir.
You know what else is key? We got to pay some bills. So when the bell rings, we'll take a break and be right back. The mission of Golden Boy Promotions on ESPN is to catapult young fighters to greatness and also to put those prospects in tough. And so far, we've seen Randy Caballero in tough against Jesus Estrellita Ruiz. They call him the star, the little star from Nogales, Sonora, and he's a game fighter, Bernard. He came to fight.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And this is a fight because both guys are trying to establish their dominance, and that's where you got to fight. That's when the fight breaks out. When both guys know they're there to win and trying everything to win.
All right. Teddy, you've been in the corners telling your guys, settle down. What would you tell a fighter fighting at home like Randy Caballero, who you saw go out guns a-blazing in the first round and then get caught in the second round for the third?
The key here is not what you only tell them now at the moment, but what you told them in camp, to be prepared for that. You know, to control yourself. Don't let the crowd get in control of what you do. You know what you have to do. Depend on your professionalism. Being in control at all times and doing exactly what we trained to do. In other words, don't get caught up in the emotional crowd. You know, don't get too fast. Don't get too anxious. Don't get too aggressive. Because right now, by being aggressive, he's right what I talked about before. Right in the wheelhouse of Ruiz. And maybe satisfying the crowd a little bit and got pushed into that trap. But I tell you right now, the main thing is that Mr. De La Hoya in our interview kept his word so far. And I'm going to stay on top of that. I'm going to watch. He kept his word. This is a competitive fight. Ruiz is, as I said right at the top, a real live opponent.
47 previous bouts with 35 victories, 24 knockouts. So He's not a soft touch, and the way he's working to the body against Randy Caballero, he's really trying to establish something for later on in the fight.
Yes, he is. He's trying to establish something because, you know, you beat the body, the head, and fall. And you know what? This fight is going to go down more not just on who's talented than each other, but it's going to go down to nutrition. Who's in better shape? Who wants it more? Who wants to be a champion or build off that to become great? And this is where you start at on ESPN.
And to that point of Bernard, it comes down to attrition, to condition. Maybe Caballero has the advantage because Ruiz took this fight on 2.5 weeks' notice.
2.5 weeks notice, but he said he was preparing for a fight, but it's not the same until you know your opponent. And it's a former world titleist in there, and he's making him work. So Ruiz really making and earning his money tonight, Teddy.
Absolutely.
But it's a plus where you can stay in the gym, whether you have a fight or not, knowing that something's coming, whether it comes or not, you're ready.
Nice combination punching here to punctuate round 3 of 10 as former titleist Randy Caballero is taking on a very game Jesus Estrella Ruiz. Let's listen in to the red corner where Randy Caballero's father, Marcos, has a word.
What did I tell you? You following his shot? Huh? No, but usually punch inside. Once you do better than outside. Get them outside. He throws punches. Now you gotta get out. Inside. Remember I told you? Got 3 rounds. Okay. Understand? Yeah. You gotta change the strategy. That's your side.
Guys, all right?
Okay. No, I don't want. Keep free jump. I don't chop Randy. No, it's just fine. But any combinations, Randy, you get into me. Now work every punch you throw. You gotta make it to bottom, top, all the sides. Come on. He's throwing the same punches. You block him good. You gotta come back with the combination. Understand? Come on. Hey. Come on.
All right, B-Hop, so far, the father with good instructions. What do you like about what he's telling his son?
The right instructions. He's telling them to relax, to work the body. He also tells them to throw the combinations. So he's telling them doing the things that he's done in the previous round.
And I agree. I mean, listen, there's no panic. There's, you know, Costamato, my mentor, one of the greatest boxing people of all time, used to always remind me, hey, there ain't no 1, 2, or 3 round title fights. That's right. You know, when you get to this level, you're going 10 or you're going 12. So, obviously, in some ways, fighters have to have the mentality of a Tiger Woods, of a golfer. They have to forget about their last shot.
Prime Tiger Woods, right?
Yeah, well, prime Tiger Woods, absolutely. But they got to forget about their last shot that went into the woods. They got to forget that, keep their mentality right, and do what they were trained to do.
A closer's mentality in baseball as well. You put it away and you start off every round. You start from scratch, Teddy.
And the mental part, Bernard, nobody can attest to this better than the man next to me, Bernard, the great former middleweight champion and a lot of other division champion, is that the most important part of this business, 75% of it, is the mental part.
Oh, definitely. That's the mental part because you got to believe you can win. And you got to believe you can win not only mentally, but you got to believe all the things you've done to make that recipe become a victory.
Well, you know what I like? In the corner, you guys didn't catch it, but Caballero brought in his real estate agent, and they started talking about location. And you notice he's keeping range, even there where he led to the right. You see that, Bernard?
And that's the location.
He didn't rush it.
He was 3 or 4 feet away, and he threw the right left, and then he threw the right hand. And he's going to set that same punch up in a minute. I can see it coming because he's waiting for the right time to throw the right hand.
The big difference this round, mark it down. If this fight goes Caballero's way from now on, and I had going into this round, Ruiz winning the fight so far very early. But if it changes this round. Because again, Caballero's starting to fight in the location, geography he needs to. Separating himself, controlling the outside, and getting range on those punches. Separation on those punches.
Which is real estate, and he got it.
We know who has the better skill set. It's the former world titleist and still undefeated fighter, Randy Caballero. We knew what Ruiz brought to the table. He was allowing Ruiz to use his skill set.
Absolutely. Ruiz wants a grinded out fight. He wants a dog fight. You know, he wants to be in the trenches, in a dog fight, in an ugly fight, elbows, a couple other things going there, everything but the kitchen sink. Caballero, he doesn't want that. He wants separation, and he's starting to get it now. He wants to control the outside.
And Caballero's a sharper fighter. He's a more sharper fighter, more seasoned fighter, so that suits him better. And he's been very, very positive of throwing jabs, then right hand, then uppercut. Straight short right hand just now. It was put right on the button of Ruiz.
But he finally did it.
To Bernardo's point, the more skillful fighter, Caballero, you can use your skills with the separation. Those skills get taken away when you're in close. When you get smothered, it becomes about physicality. It becomes about other things, not skills. Skills can be seen and used when there's separation, and now you're seeing it.
Headbutt here, the second one of the fight. Fortunately, no cuts as round number 4 comes to an end.
Ruiz has a technical draw from a head collision. Well, now you know why. He rushes in there, in a reckless sort of way, out of control sort of way, and you get head clashes that way. There's Exhibit A, if we were in a court of law, of why Mr. Ruiz is a billy goat.
Thank you, Attorney Atlas.
Well, my daughter.
Actually, your daughter's the attorney.
Yeah, she's the attorney.
Nicole.
She's taught me a couple things, and unfortunately, I haven't shown a lot of that learning, but I'm trying.
Well, I learned a little bit about law. It looked like premeditated. That looked like a premeditated move.
And it was Randy Caballero who met him there as well.
Yeah, that definitely was a premeditated move.
Caballero trying to get his head in.
My daughter could have helped you about 30 years ago. But you've come a long way, my man. Long way.
Nice uppercut.
Not only one of the top fighters in the history of this game, but one of the real good citizens and role models of this game. And to me, that's even a bigger statement. Bernard Hopkins.
A true example of how to turn your life around and never go back to your old life.
A true example of why this sport is so important.
True.
Because it can help young men find themselves.
Actually, Glenn Tapia, our main event fighter, has his own gym now. He says that's his mission, to save young people off the streets. And B-Hop, I know how important that is to you.
Yes, it is. He came from that era, and he understands the beneficial of being positive and working your way out of those situations. But you got to want to work your way out of situations. Teddy said it best. You have to be able to work your way out of that situation. And I commend anybody that comes from that: woman, man, children, young adults.
Well, I said it, the 4th round, put a little asterisk next to it. That's going to turn the fight around, and it has so far. Caballero changing his approach, although right now Ruiz, again, inside where he wants to be, not the geography that Caballero got in the 4th round where he started to separate himself. Again, very simple. Caballero needs separation to use those skills. If it's an in-fight, Ruiz is going to be in this fight right down to the end.
And one of the mistakes, B-Hop, that he's making, he's leaning in, not only changing the geography of the legs, but physically.
Ruiz is right now throwing punches. He's not actually worried about getting hit back. I think it's a lot more of frustration. There's a lot more of knowing that he has to take the playback to where he believed early in the fight that he was doing well, pressing forward, making Caballero fight his fight. That's have changed in rounds, and now he's trying to get that back.
I know you're a big numbers guy, so Caballero actually is landing a lower percentage in this fight than Ruiz, which was something unexpected because Caballero tends to be quite accurate with his punches.
Yes, he is. He's been very active, but he's throwing punches with both hands constantly, and I'm not surprised that he's leading those copy boxes.
I'll tell you one thing, Caballero has done some awfully good body work this round.
All right, our main event will be coming up soon, and we'll have Jason Quigley taking on Glenn Tapia, a man who says maturity and experience do not count him out. Do that at your own peril.
I really don't care what he brings to the table, I've been in this position. I was there years ago. I'm going to say 4 years ago. So I know what he's feeling, and I know what he's thinking in his mind, what he's going to do to me. But I know what I could do, and I'm there to stop him. I'm not just a step up.
I hope he's prepared. I hope he's prepared the best that he possibly can, because I am, and he's going to need to be prepared if he has any chance to come fight me.
That's Jason Quigley, who says, I understand that Glenn Tapia is a desperate fighter, but a wounded animal is the most dangerous of them all. This is his big test tonight here as a main event fighter as Golden Boy Boxing debuts on ESPN. Thank you for joining us alongside Teddy Atlas and Bernard Hopkins. I'm Bernardo Osuna. We're here in round 6 of a 10-round bout between former world titleist Randy Caballero and Jesus Estrellita Ruiz from Nogales, Sonora. We expected a tough battle, Teddy. Are you surprised by what Ruiz has presented, or more by Randy Caballero not using his skill set to his advantage?
You don't have cotton ears, right? No.
Not at all,
Did
sir.
you hear me at the beginning? I said
did.
I expected Ruiz to make this a dogfight.
Not everybody was there, Teddy. I'm trying to set you up to look really smart in round 6.
Well, thank you. But I like to be very to the point and candid. But Ruiz, right from the beginning, what I expected, watched film on him, tried to do my job to be ready for this. And Ruiz, just a tough, rugged guy and no soft touch. And if you allow him to get on the inside, if you allow him to get attached to you, you know, kind of like fitting on top of you like a cheap suit, he's going to give you hell. You got to get a little separation with him. But I'll tell you, to Caballero's credit, even though he's making a mistake of staying too close, he is doing some treacherous body work. He is putting water in the basement. And right now he's causing a flood downstairs with Ruiz, because I can see a little slowing down of Ruiz. And believe me, it's from those body shots. And then you go to the body, you switch upstairs, and you start to land that left hook upstairs.
And that's exactly what Randy Caballero is doing. Now, we know that Ruiz is a tough guy. He failed in his world title challenge against Leo Santa Cruz, but he feels that the ref stopped the fight too early in round 8. Then he took undefeated prospect Diego De La Hoya the distance for the first time in his career. So we know he's durable. Would there be anything you'd have Ruiz change in the way he's fighting, B-Hop?
Well, no, because that's what made him who he is. That's what made him a competitive fighter. But, you know, he must know that he has to turn into another gear or get into another gear, because this gear is not getting the job done. And so right now he just got hit with a straight left hand with the right hand on the top. So he must change into another gear, because he's getting outboxed, he's getting pop shot here and there. And, you know, it's going to be like this for the rest of the fight if he don't change gears.
See, that's an honest answer from Bernabe. A lot of people would try to put something on that, be fancy. Oh, yeah, you should do this. No, you are what you are. At this point in his career, with all the fights Ruiz had, you're going to get there, bring it what you brought you to the dance. I mean, really, you're not changing much at this point. The only thing I might change with Ruiz is not what he's doing, but what he's not what he shouldn't do. He shouldn't jab to the body so much, because when he jabs to the body, he leans forward, and he's been counted in spots.
Round 5 comes to an end.
Right up the middle. Right there. That's the pop shot. He waited, the counter, and came with the left hand.
Yeah, and the reason why that was available is because Ruiz leaned forward a little bit. Got a little top heavy, leaned in, didn't bring his feet, and also did not get a good cover. His hands dropped a little bit, pot shot.
There was also that feint with the right that opened it up with the left. So a lot happening in just that one sequence. Boxing-wise, no one better than Bernard Hopkins and Teddy Atlas to explain it step by step.
And yeah, pop shot is not 3 or 4 punches. That's why it's called pop shot, because it's one shot hitting you. And he popped him with it. Not a strong punch, but a punch to let him know that he got him. That he's still touching. Yes.
Got him thinking.
Now in the corner, if I'm in the corner, I'm going to take I'm going to take yours straight, and I'm going to raise it to a flush. And what I'm going to say to him is, hey, you landed 1, you can land 2. Why be satisfied with 1 if you can land 2? Next time, you know you can land the right hand, let's put the left hook behind it. Don't be satisfied with 1 if you can land 2. And right now, he's starting to put them together. He being Caballero a little bit better. The only thing that maybe I don't consider putting them together as a real combination, Bernard, is there's got to be music to a real combination. There's got to be rhythm. Bop, 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 bop. Right now, I'm seeing with Caballero a little break, like bop, 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 bop. And there's that headbutt. We talked about it right from the beginning.
Luckily, 3 big, well, 1 elbow and 2 headbutts, but fortunately, no one cut so far. There's nothing really that can happen. That's just the styles,
But you know, Caballero is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, like throw combinations. He's not throwing combinations with something hard at the end. If he's throwing them just to set up, you know, combinations and look pretty and look good, then that's one thing. But he has to throw punches like he's doing now to try to at least get the respect from Ruiz.
And again,
get that geography back, Teddy.
Yeah, and to that point of Bernard, for me, combination, again, is like good seamless music. Bop, 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 bop. It's not bop, bop. And when you watch Caballero sometimes with his combinations, he breaks them up. It's bop, bop.
Work out of it, guys.
Instead of
Work out
bop,
of it.
bop, 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 bop.
It's not coming rapid fire, and that's what he needs to do, Teddy. And he needs to do it, and he needs to put something on the last two punches of that combination. If it's 4 combinations, 1 or 2 punches got to be meaningful. They got to get Ruiz respect.
He's doing the first thing right. He's getting off first, but he's not following it so far here in round 7. But maybe enough to win this round because he's the one that's being more offensive.
Yeah, maybe we can take this on the road talking about music. You know, Sinatra, Martin, you know.
It's a boppity boppity
Yeah,
bop.
you know, the old Rat Pack. You know, we do our own version of it.
I know. The bulk of this will be Teddy.
And you know who's
How
Sammy.
about I got it right here. Bopping with B-Hop.
And you know who got to be Sammy Davis.
I was waiting for you. I left that open for
This
you.
is a Rat Pack, baby. B-Hop already called who he's going to be. Why you got to hog the best of all? All right. This round comes to an end. We'll be back with Boppity Bop and Teddy Atlas. What everyone's been expecting. What round is next, Bernard?
Round 8th round. Here we go.
Round 8. Now, we talked about Randy Caballero being a slow starter, but he's capable of late knockouts. He's got 3 in round 7 and 1 in round 8. Teddy, do you see him getting ahead of steam here as the fight progresses?
Yeah, well, I see Caballero getting control of the fight. And I think, quite honestly, I'm the first one to admit, you know, if I was off or if I was right, or I'll let other people say it if I was right. That's the polite way to do it. But
Work out of it.
I thought Caballero had to separate himself on the outside, and so did Bernard. And he did in that 4th round. But once he did it, he went inside a little bit more than I thought maybe he should. But you know what? He's gotten what he wanted because of his body attack. He has taken a little something out of Ruiz. Again, Ruiz took the fight out 2.5 weeks. Notice, not full time to be doing sit-ups and everything else. So, back on the outside, Caballero. He's got control, rhythm of the fight now, fighting where he belongs. But those spots on the inside, where I disagreed a little bit, quite frankly, he got away with it because he put some water in the basement of Ruiz with those body shots.
You know, he mentioned, Bernard, that he wanted to win in a spectacular way. He wanted his fans to see that, to prove that he's a top caliber talent and that he's ready for a world title shot. Have you seen enough from Caballero, who now lands a big overhand right all the way to the back of the ear?
Well, he's showing, first of all, no. I think he's showing that he got heart. I think he's showing that he's trying. But I think he needs to go back to the drawing board on doing what works for him good. And right now, he's giving a lot to Ruiz to look good in the fight or look good in rounds that he can take control of. That is Caballero. He needs to go ahead now and do what he say in the meeting with us when we talked about it. He need to step on the gas now and show his fans that he meant and he's back.
Big uppercut by Ruiz.
And he wants to prove a point.
The head's leaning in. He's committing some mistakes that he shouldn't be committing at this point.
They're both leaning forward. That means two things to me. One, it means that they're, well, yeah, they're wearing a little bit. But it also means there could be some danger with their heads again. But it also means uppercuts, baby.
Yep.
If one guy, and that guy for me should be Caballero, take a half step back and throw that uppercut, he's going to find the home for it because Ruiz is leaning forward.
He speaks English. He heard Teddy Atlas, and that's exactly what he did. Took a baby step back, created the space, went with the uppercut, but it's about consistency. Bernard Hopkins has been asking for consistent combinations throughout. He's still just throwing one punch at a time as he leans on Ruiz. Round 8 coming to an end. We'll see who's in shape, who's got the heart as we go down the stretch of our co-main event of the evening, Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN.
You got to create room for punches on the inside. How do you create it? Well, you bang them in the body, and then you take a little step back, create a little room, let the man lean forward, walk into the uppercut. Exactly the way you would draw it up. Take a second look here. Caballero in too close, getting smothered a little bit. Steps back, creates a little room. He knows he's got his man leaning forward. He knows the right punch to throw. And he throws the right uppercut again. Little step back, the right uppercut. You know, being a champion, or trying to be a champion, part of it is strong punches, part of it is defense, but part of it is cerebral, recognition. understanding not just to throw punches, Bernard understands this, but what punch to throw at what time. He understood Caballero there, what punch to throw. The proper punch was the uppercut because his man was leaning forward.
And he's off balance when you lean forward. Your weight is up front. Your weight is not in the back. It's not proportionally even. So when you do that, Ruiz is leaning forward. He's leaning and the weight is forward, and that's what uppercut can be very effective. But Caballero is trying to box now. And I think if he would have boxed early or middle of the rounds, he might have bust Ruiz up a little bit. He might have frustrated him to throw wild punches like he's doing now. And I think he can throw more punches when he's on the move to the left, to the right. Not running, but just sliding to the right, sliding to the left, and throwing combinations like that.
He's got the skill set. He's got the legs. He's got the youth on his side. And now the little nick. A little nick on the right.
A little nick in the right corner of his eye. Again, we would guess it's from a headbutt because there's been plenty of it.
And it took a long time, Teddy. 9 rounds. We've seen at least 4 headbutts plus that elbow. So it really actually took a longer than we expected for a cut to be produced in this fight.
And you know, you brought back that elbow. When he raised that elbow and hit him with the elbow, he showed us that there's openings to the body. And I mentioned that. I said, you know, Caballero's corner should recognize and whisper in the ear of Caballero their charge that there's body opportunities. And I think they did because, again, Caballero has been finding the body of Ruiz all night long.
And it seems that Caballero is quite comfortable with the cut. He doesn't seem desperate. He seems like he's been there before, B-Hop.
Well, he's cool under pressure. You know, he knows. He's a lot of amateur fights, some pro fights, a lot of pro fights. You know, enough to know that don't panic. The corner's not panicking, you're not panicking. You're going to go to the corner and eventually get worked on. But look, I need to see him. I hope to see that he learns how to box in the future when he needs to box. And it got to start now, tonight. Use his jab, use the combinations, tie his man up if he has to buy some time to get to the corner and get the cut fixed.
We'll see how the cut man works out here at the end of round 9. But Randy Caballero now against the ropes, and Ruiz trying to get some shoe shine punches off, going still to the body. And it's been pretty impressive the fact that Caballero has also taken a lot of punishment downstairs, Teddy.
You got to keep your punches
up, both
right?
guys looking to put water in that basement. You know, Ruiz, that's his game. There's a headbutt again. That's his game. Get inside, grind it out, make it an ugly fight. And again, as I said from the 4th round on, it was up to Caballero to get the location he needed.
All right, round 9 coming to an end. How will this end? Don't miss it here on ESPN. All right, it's time to be bold. Round 10. Let's see if Randy Caballero can pull away with a victory here at home. He's been off for 13 months, saw a little bit of ring rust. He allowed Ruiz to fight his fight early on, and seems like he's taking control down the stretch. But Jesus Ruiz is still as game as he was in round 1. Big right hand and the headbutt. So he follows not with the combination of punches, but with the headbutt, Teddy.
That move looks familiar, Teddy.
Well, we got the expert on that sitting right next to me. We got the expert on that right here. He knows. Him and Holyfield, they're pretty damn good at that.
They got 2 good fists and a head. That's more than anybody else in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Bernard had a lot of great combinations, but one of his best was the left-right head.
Everything that I've done I shouldn't have done was an accident.
I know that. I know that.
This is turning into the confessional all of a sudden, the Bernard Hopkins confessional, but nonetheless, good action here in round 10 between Randy Caballero and Jesus Ruiz. The crowd getting into it. This is Caballero's hometown. They saw him become a world champion in Monaco. They want him to be a champion again. But Teddy, he's in tough tonight against Ruiz.
Yeah, we said it right from the top. You know, we're not surprised by it. This is what Ruiz is. Nothing fancy. This is a guy who just, you know, gets in your grill and he goes all night long. You got to beat him. He doesn't give it to you.
He's the type of guy we call a blue-collar worker. He's scrappy. He's right there. He's not fancy. He's not trying to be fancy. He's coming forward. He's using his heart, his intelligence, his experience, and he wants to be recognized, and he wants respect. And he came forward this whole fight.
It's gut check time for both Randy Caballero and Jesus Ruiz. The question here is, did Caballero do enough to impress his own hometown fans? Because they love him, but they have high expectations as a former world champion.
And again, the fight becomes less competitive when there's separation. And I said it early on, you guys brought it up early on. Caballero, the more skilled guy, the more conventional guy, can use those conventional skills when there's a little room. When you're in close and you're in tight, that gets taken away from you with the physicality, with the bumping, with the pushing, with the smothering. You can't show those skills the same.
And that's the intelligence of Ruiz. To do that, to take that plus away from
very true.
Caballero. That's good because he knew that he can't compete out there and be successful as Ruiz been successful now.
And I take it, understand your skill set.
You're right, and I'll take it a step further. Caballero's got to learn not to allow him to do that because he's still allowed him to get into those quarters. He needs to learn and say, hey, if a guy needs to be in close, I need to be outside and have the discipline to do that.
The crowd is on their feet. Randy Caballero and Jesus Ruiz in our co-main event are setting the table for a great main event. But so far, the fans love their hometown fighter, their hometown champion. But Jesus Ruiz came in here to prove that he belongs. We'll come back from a quick break and we'll see if Ruiz pulled off the upset or if Randy Caballero defeated streak or will Jesus Ruiz pull off the upset. Only one man knows right now. His name is Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals. Zach Young has it 97-93. Carla Caiz and Max DeLuca 96-94. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. And new NABF super bantamweight champion here, still undefeated, Coachella Zone, El Matador, Randy Caballero.
Randy Caballero improves to 24-0 and comes off of a 13-month layoff to make his fans here in the Coachella Valley extremely happy, winning another belt. But the big one is the world title that he wants to get back for Nicaragua. No soft touch.
He's got a funny habit of shaking his gloves, shaking his hands. De La Cruz, the world champion who just won his title back against Frampton, he had that funny habit where he just shakes those hands once in a while before he gets off.
And Ruiz, catch him doing that, shaking to get fillings in his hand or to get some kind of rhythm, whatever. Maybe it's a nervous twitch, whatever it is. He leaves himself open. If Ruiz know that he's doing it and catch him doing that, then he won't be able to react as quick to protect himself.
Leo Santa Cruz kind of got that under control, but it took him a long time. Now, B-Hop, you fought in Philadelphia before in your hometown. How different is it, and how much adrenaline is pumping through Caballero, and how does he control it?
Well, it's a lot of energy.
His professional record stands at 35 victories, 7 defeats, 5 draws, and 24 wins, coming by way of knockout from Nogales, Arizona. Here is Jesus Ruiz. And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing white, trimmed in tan, he weighed in 121.5 pounds. In 23 professional bouts, he stands perfect with 23 victories, no defeats, 14 wins, coming by way of knockout. The fighting pride of Coachella, California. Here is the former IBF bantamweight champion of the world, El Matador, Randy Caballero.
Going through him right now, a lot of emotions, and he wants to look not good. He wants to look perfect, and that can come back and bite him because you must.
Oh, there's a headbutt, Teddy.
There's a headbutt. It might be a cut.
No cut
take
so
long
far
for that to transpire, did it?
Nope. Did you have the over or the under on that one, Teddy?
It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
I had the under just like I had the under with who's going to speak more, Bernard or me.
Exactly.
I know who's going to speak less.
And so far, I think you're winning, but I'm going to catch up.
That's right. You're, as the great late Muhammad Ali might say, Bernardo, you're a brave man to sit in between these two talkers.
I know. I might have to play referee, but don't scare me too much, because if you guys start agreeing on things, I'm going to get really scared as the night progresses.
Well, the one thing we both agree on, Bernard being the great champion that he's been, is that he's a guy that, first of all, he's got 25 more fights than Caballero, and he's only 1 year older. actually less than a year older. So, a very experienced Ruiz, a tough guy. You know, not just his soft touch. Obviously, Caballero, the former champion, he lost his title to the scales back in 2015. But he's the favorite. He's supposed to win this fight. But again, a rugged Ruiz, and a guy who gets in there with his head a little bit. Caballero got to be careful about that. Ruiz has had a technical draw from a head clash, so he's been known to be a little bit of a billy goat. And one thing I picked up watching tape on him, and I want to see what Bernard thinks about that. Caballero, the undefeated fighter here, 26 years old.
All right, it's time to go to the Tecate tail of the tape.
All right, gentlemen, I've been over the rules with you both. You're professionals. I expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves. Good luck.
All right, those were the instructions. Now it's time to go to the Tecate tail of the tape, presented by Tecate. The reach advantage is in favor of Randy Caballero, but look at the fact that he's been out twice as long as his opponent due to an injury to his foot, a cyst on his foot that required a long recovery period, but now he's back, and you can hear the crowd into their hometown boy, the champion, the guy who did things the right way and then lost the title on the scale. It's all about redemption, Teddy.
And Ruiz is a tough guy. You know,